Did you know about the backroom deal about doubling his compensation?
Doug, are you talking to me about backroom deals? You're talking about you and the developers in the back room about the green belt?
And well, these two hydro bills are going through the roof while these two argue.
The gloves coming off tonight right here in our city studios. These chairs were filled just a few short hours ago as Kathleen Wynne, Doug Ford, and Andrea Horwath all went head-to-head for the first televised election debate, exactly 1 month before Ontarians head to the polls. And Premier Wynne came under fire several times from the two candidates who are gunning for her job.
You have set a world record. If you want to talk about policies, you have the highest gas tax, you have the highest hydro rates, you have the most indebted region in the entire world, you have the longest hospital wait times, you have more scandals and political corruption than any government in history.
But Doug, let's talk about what's true.
You can take the first 5 pages out of the Guinness World Book of Records, you've set all the records.
PC leader Doug Ford getting in one of tonight's most memorable jabs. But Ford also facing criticism for his plan to cut spending across all government agencies.
Doug, you know, I think that the threat that you pose in terms of the cuts to the province it's really significant.
I want to know, why don't you have the guts to tell people what your cuts are going to look like? What is in store for the people of Ontario?
Not one single person is getting laid off under our administration.
You know,
not one person.
If you're cutting across government, you're cutting education, you're cutting healthcare, because you can't take $6 billion out of services in this province and not hurt education, healthcare. How are you not going to hurt the programs that we have just built up?
It doesn't add up.
You cannot make that math add.
The debate featuring a unique format that took questions from the audience while also allowing candidates to ask direct questions of each other.
And now it is time for our second leader's question.
It was a formula that sparked some heated exchanges.
This is the problem with Ontario right now, folks.
You don't understand.
This is the problem.
You don't understand how healthcare works. You don't understand how education works.
And that's time.
One thing, when I'm Premier, I won't be cooking the books like you have.
But amid all the accusations and finger-pointing, there was one refreshing moment of levity.
Kathleen, you got a nice smile on your face there. Kathleen.
So do you.
When does the clock start?
I'll start it right now, and that's probably the friendliest moment we will have.
The debate centered around topics that matter to those who live and work in our city. Now, one issue that really stood out was transit. And for the first time, we heard a very bold, a very big promise from PC leader Doug Ford.
I'm announcing today that we're putting in $5 billion into new subways, relief lines, two-way go all the way to Niagara Falls. We're going to make sure that we build rapid transit.
Well, I don't know if it's possible or not, but that's the wrong way to lay out policy. It's just a number. The way to do it is to have released a white paper on what that big regional transportation plan is and where this $5 billion will be spent, but more importantly, where will this money come from?
And Ford wasn't the only one with ideas on transit. Andrea Horwath also weighed in her ideas to increase operating funding so that we can see more trains on tracks and more buses on the roads.
$330 million is what we're going to be providing just for the City of Toronto, but around the province, transit systems can get operating.
The reality is that there's gas tax.
And it's long overdue, but you know
there's gas tax money that already is provided.
What happens though, Kathleen, and you know this, right?
You know what?
Places like New York,
can I just finish the sentence I just started?
What happens?
Which is that there is gas tax money that already goes to 99 municipalities around the province, and the problem with your plan is that the bill doesn't continue.
The NDP leader then responded by saying Kathleen Wynne has implemented the worst way to finance transit, by selling off Hydro One and feathering the nest of her friends to the tune of $8 billion. Out of all the candidates, who handled the transit issue the best?
I would say Andrea Horwath did a better job. She started off by saying the word buses. You have to realize that people who take public transit, especially subways in Toronto, 60% of those people are actually on buses, and then they end up being on subways.
We reached out to the city and the mayor's office, and we tried to get comment on this. We're still waiting to hear back. After the debate, all three candidates had the chance to get their final thoughts in as they fielded questions from the media.
We're going to focus on what the taxpayers want, and I'll tell you what the taxpayers want. They want lower hydro rates, they want jobs, They want to make sure there's accountability, transparency, and integrity when it comes to their government. And right now, over the last 15 years, we've seen anything but accountability and transparency.
I talked tonight about the economy. The economy is doing better than most of the other provinces, better than the United States. We've got an unemployment rate that is the best that it's been in 2 decades. But we know that there's more that people need. And so the plan that we've put forward builds on the supports that we've already put in place. But look, it's about making sure that people have the mental health supports that they need, that families can find childcare, that students can find post-secondary education. That's what people are saying they need, and that's what we are going to work to put in place.
We are the only party that is saying clearly to the people of Ontario, you have a choice here. We can get some great things done together, but we are going to ask the wealthiest amongst us, and we are going to ask the most profitable corporations to pay their fair share, to chip in and help us create a province where people can build a good life again. It is not, as I said in my closing remarks, that is not a dream. It's a plan. It's been financed through our fiscal plan that we announced with our platform, and those numbers have been verified.